Imagine you were in a position where you are constantly under pressure, you have a lot of responsibilities, and there are literally millions of people out there that you know hate you. How would you feel? Well, Barack Obama was exactly in that position when he was still in office, and yet he said that he was pretty happy at the time. Why is that? It is interesting to see how the most powerful man in the world defines happiness for himself. What is essential to make him a happy person? And by far the most important thing is simply his family.
You know, I am pretty happy, I got to tell you. And the main reason is because I've got this amazing wife and two unbelievably terrific daughters who are growing up a little too fast, and I don't see them as much as I like because they're always hanging out with their friends these days.
There have been many studies on what actually makes people happy, and the one thing they all come back to in the end is social connections. That could be anything from your friends, your partner, or of course for most of us, our family. And as we clearly can see in this following clip here, this is no different for a guy as successful and powerful as Obama.
That's where I start, and that's my baseline. And I have dinner with him every night at 6:30 during the week, and I catch up with him. And for all the challenges I'm dealing with, that's always home base.
The second thing that Obama mentions rather briefly, but of course is equally important as family, is that he and his family members are all healthy.
That keeps my life in perspective. A great family. We're healthy. Obviously, I can support that family, and they're doing fine.
We often take our health for granted, especially when we are feeling good in the moment, but as soon as health vanishes, either for us or for our loved ones, it is almost impossible to still feel happy. So notice how a guy like Obama, who has pretty much reached the pinnacle of success by any conventional standard that we have in our society, first mentions his family and his health when he's asked about his own personal happiness. He doesn't talk about success, he doesn't talk about money, he doesn't talk about power. All of that is not essential when it comes to ultimate happiness. And it is only after this foundation of his family, his loved ones, and his health is covered that he moves on to describe what his job brings him in terms of fulfillment, which, as we will see in the upcoming clip, is also not really directed towards the classic reasons why people want to be successful: money, power, fame, possibly popularity. Instead, he focuses on the purpose that his job gives him.
But the other reason I'm pretty good is that this is an extraordinary privilege, this job. It is really hard, and it's long hours, and there are a lot of things flying at you all the time. But every single day I wake up and I have the possibility, the opportunity of making things a little bit better for somebody out there.
And again, this is something that research on happiness has shown time and time again. We don't care so much about money after a certain point. We don't care about fame and popularity. What we care most about is that we see a purpose in the work that we're doing. And the way that we usually find this kind of purpose is that we see a positive impact that our work has on the life of others.
Making sure somebody has health care who didn't have it before. Maybe it's making sure that a small business gets a loan. Maybe it's helping to get a school instituted an early education program so the kids are getting a better start.
Now, as the President of the United States of America, this impact might be a little bit more indirect than, let's say, being a teacher or a nurse. But at the same time, you are in the unique position that you might potentially influence the life of millions. And of course, a guy like Obama is very aware of that.
Every single day, though, you just realize it's pretty lucky to be able to serve the American people this way. And when I travel outside of Washington, or when I have a chance to have a chat like this, I'm just reminded of how many wonderful people there are in this country.
When looking at this clip, I see a guy who really cares. A guy that still, after years and years in politics, and a guy who really knows how difficult it is to get stuff done, still sees the purpose in what he's doing on a day-to-day basis. This is what gets him up in the morning, and this is what keeps him going even when he pushes against resistance. So when you go and take an objective look at Obama's life here, you see a guy middle-aged who has a loving wife, 2 awesome daughters, who is healthy, who has a healthy family, and who does a job that he loves and that he believes serves a deeper purpose to potentially millions of people all across the United States. When you see that, you see why he is happy living the life he lives. And even though we all witnessed the shortcomings that he had and the hurdles that he needed to overcome, the battles that he fought in 8 years in the office, we also got to witness all the happy moments that he shared during the politics that he did in office, with people that he worked with his family, with his wife. We saw, I believe, a pretty happy president. And I believe that we can all learn something about happiness from Obama and the way he lives his life. We don't have to become that successful. We don't have to become rich. We don't have to have such a big impact, but we need to find some kind of calling in our profession that allows us to have an impact on someone. Anything can make a difference in the life of others. So find that purpose in what you are doing. And on top of that, build a life that is happy, healthy, and full of joy because of the people you surround yourself with. With that being said, if you want to get more videos about happiness, make sure that you subscribe to this channel because I'm gonna release a couple more very soon. Until then, talk to you next time.